Before life slips through your fingers like sand through a cracked hourglass, before you blink and find yourself staring at a wrinkled reflection wondering where it all went. Let me hit you with some raw, unfiltered truth. No one's going to be standing at your funeral reciting your resume. Not your corner office promotions, not the zeros in your bank account, not the shiny awards collecting dust on your shelf, not even that viral post you spent hours crafting. Just who you were. When the lights dimmed, the masks dropped, and the world wasn't watching. Picture it. Your last day rolls around and the room's quiet. No one's whispering about how you crushed that sales quota in Q3, or how your LinkedIn profile sparkled. What echoes is how you treated the waiter when your burger came cold, how you lifted a friend when their world was crumbling, or how you faced the mirror when the silence got loud. That's the stuff that sticks, the messy, human, unglamorous truth of you. So why are we sprinting through life, lungs burning, chasing the wrong damn things? Buckle up, because this isn't some fluffy pep talk to warm your soul. This is your wake-up call to live smarter, bolder, and truer starting right now. Let's rip the Band-Aid off, crack our knuckles, and dive into the deep end. Here's the deal, straight up. Money can buy you a lot of shiny distractions, but it's a lousy counterfeit for the real stuff. It'll get you a crowd of yes-men who'll clap like trained seals for your every move. But those aren't friends. They're flatterers, parasites who'll scatter like roaches when the lights flick on and your wallet's empty. It can buy you a steamy night or two, sure. Candlelight, silk sheets, the works, but love? That's not on the menu, no matter how many bouquets you overnight or private jets you charter. We've all seen those guys peacocking on Instagram, flashing their designer labels and rented Lambos like it's a backstage pass to meaning. I knew one, let's call him Tony, drove a leased Porsche, wore a watch that cost more than my rent, posted gym selfies with captions like, "Hustle hard." Looked like he had it all, right? Until the repo guy rolled up, the filters came off, and he was just a dude drowning in debt, begging for likes to feel alive. Spoiler alert, that's not winning. Stop flexing for the algorithm and start moving, quietly, fiercely, toward what actually counts. Real legacy isn't loud. It's built in the shadows. Brick by sweaty brick, choice by gritty choice. The older you get, the harder it is to rewrite your story. Habits calcify like concrete. Regrets stack up like unpaid bills, and suddenly you're 50, staring at a life you didn't mean to live, wondering why you didn't pivot when you had the chance. I've seen it. My uncle, great guy, spent decades in a cubicle he hated because that's what you do. Retired last year and now he's lost, fumbling with hobbies he never had time to love. Don't wait for the gray hairs to figure it out. Get your act together today. Not tomorrow, not next Monday, not after the holidays, now. Time's not your buddy. It's a thief in the night picking your pockets while you scroll X, promising someday like it's a gift card with no expiration. It's got one. Trust me. And it's closer than you think. Let's talk about the people you're hauling around like overstuffed luggage. If you're clinging to the wrong ones, those energy vampires who suck your soul dry and leave you questioning your worth, you're slamming the door on the right ones trying to walk in. Picture this. You're at a party, stuck in the corner with that friend who only calls when their car's busted or their rent's late. They're droning on about their latest drama and you're nodding, dying inside. Meanwhile, across the room, there's someone who'd vibe with your weirdness, push your dreams, call you out when you're slacking, but you'll never meet them because you're too busy babysitting the leech. Ditch the dead weight. Yeah, it's brutal. Yeah, it'll sting like a fresh cut. But loneliness with purpose beats bad company every single time. I've been there. Cutting ties with a childhood buddy who turned into a black hole of negativity. We grew up trading Pokemon cards, but by 25 he was trading guilt trips. Letting go felt like amputating a limb. Tears, second-guessing, the works. But the freedom on the other side? Like shedding a soaked coat in a storm. Worth every tear. You're not here to collect freeloaders, you're here to build a tribe that lights you up, not drags you down. Now let's bust a myth we've all swallowed whole. Hard work isn't always the golden ticket Hollywood sold us. You can grind yourself into dust, 60-hour weeks, no sleep, coffee as a food group, inbox at 0, and still end up with a pink slip, a dream that fizzled, or a body that quits before you do. I knew a guy, Jake, real name withheld because he'd kill me. Worked his tail off at a startup, slept under his desk some nights, chugged Red Bulls like water, thinking the hustle would pay off with a corner office and a fat bonus. 2 years in, the company tanked, poof, gone, and Jake was left with burnout, a resume that didn't care, and a therapist on speed dial. The lesson? Know when to hit pause. Check the pulse of your life. Are you running the game, or has it turned you into a slave? There's a difference between passion and punishment, and it's not always obvious until you're on your knees. I learned this myself. Pushed through a project once, ignored the headaches, the snapped temper. Finished it, sure, but I was a shell for weeks. Sometimes stopping isn't quitting, it's strategy. Step back, breathe, recalibrate. Money's another beast we've got to tame, and it's a tricky one. Take it seriously. It's not just paper, it's your shield against life's chaos. Flat tire on a rainy night, 2 a.m., nowhere to go? Cash fixes that. Medical bill blindsides you out of nowhere, $5,000 for a test you didn't ask for. Money's your buffer, but don't let it own you. I've seen people trade their 20s for a paycheck, chasing the next raise, the next title, only to wake up at 40 with a fat account and a hollow chest asking, "Is this it?" My cousin did that. Corporate climber, 6 figures by 30, but he hasn't smiled, really smiled, in years. And here's the flip side. Don't sell yourself cheap. You're not some clearance rack t-shirt, faded and marked down to $2.99, tags still dangling. Know your worth, your time, your skills, your heart, and don't let anyone haggle you into the bargain bin. I used to undersell myself, taking gigs for peanuts because I thought that's what I deserved. Took a mentor slapping me with reality. "You're better than this, kid," to see I was worth more. You are too. Act like it. Walk like it. Charge like it, and those "I love yous" you hear, don't just soak them up like a sponge. Watch the tape, rewind, play it slow. People lie with their lips all the time, smooth as butter. But actions? They're the truth serum, the X-ray that cuts through the noise. Your partner says they're all in, but they're glued to their phone, scrolling X while you're pouring. Your heart out. Red flag waving. Neon bright. Your buddy swears they've got your back, but they're MIA when the chips are down, leaving you to scrape by alone. Cut the cord, no hesitation. Time always unmasks the fakes. It's the great revealer. I had a friend who'd shower me with praise, all "you're the man," until I landed a big win, a project that took off. Suddenly he ghosted, no texts, no congrats. Took me a year to clock it. He wasn't cheering. He was competing, quietly rooting for my stumble. Pay attention. The real ones show up, not just talk up. They're in the trenches with you, not on the sidelines clapping when it's convenient. Here's a secret weapon you're probably sleeping on. Your gut. Trust it. It's sharper than you think. A built-in radar we ignore because it's not loud or flashy. Ever get that twist in your stomach before a bad call? That's your instinct. Screaming, "Abort mission, dummy!" I ignored mine once, took a job that looked perfect on paper. Great pay, slick office, corner desk with a view. But something felt off, like a shoe that pinches just enough to annoy. 3 months in, toxic. Boss soul-crushing hours and I was out, tail between my legs. Should have listened. Your gut's a compass. Use it, tune it, let it guide you when the map's blurry. And while we're at it, take care of your body. Health is wealth you can't buy back. You can hustle for $1 million, stack it high, but if your knees creak like a haunted house and your lungs wheeze like a busted accordion, what's the point? I started running last year. Not marathons, just around the block, huffing and puffing. And it's like I unlocked a cheat code for energy. Small moves, big wins. Eat the damn kale, lift the weights, sleep like it's a job. Your future self. We'll send you a thank you note. Speaking of wins, save your cash. Seriously. Fancy cars and maxed out credit? That's a one-way ticket to misery town. Population. You, sobbing over a $900 car payment. I knew a girl, Sarah, leased a BMW to keep up, racked up debt faster than you can say interest rate, cried herself to sleep over the numbers. Flash doesn't equal freedom. It's a cage with better lighting. Stack your money instead. Future, you will throw a parade in your honor, confetti and all. And learn to say no when it matters, even if it stings like a slap. That extra shift you don't need, pass. That favor you can't afford, time or soul-wise, Decline. Regret isn't about what you did, it's about the shots you didn't take. I skipped a trip with friends once to be responsible, stayed home balancing my checkbook like a good little soldier. They still talk about that sunrise in the mountains, the way the sky bled orange and gold. I've got a spreadsheet to show for it, gathering digital dust. Guess who won that round? Time's ticking and tomorrow isn't promised, so why postpone joy for a future that might never show up? We've all got that mental someday list. Someday I'll travel, see the pyramids, dip my toes in the Pacific. Someday I'll call my mom more, hear her voice before it fades. Someday I'll chase that dream, write that book, start that business. Newsflash. Someday is a lie we tell ourselves to feel safe, a security blanket we clutch while life slips by. Life's a limited time offer. Cash it in, rip the tag off, use it up. Love your people hard. Those moments can vanish in a heartbeat. No warning, no encore. My grandpa passed last spring and I'd trade every dollar I've got for one more. Coffee with him. Hearing his gravelly laugh, watching him stir 3 sugars into his cup. Don't wait. Call them. Hug them. Sit in the quiet with them. But here's the flip. Don't chain yourself to mistakes just because you've invested time. That job you hate, clock ticking like a death knell? That relationship that's a slow bleed, draining you drop by drop. Sunk cost is a trap, a lie that keeps you shackled. Cut the rope and swim. Freedom's on the other side, even if the water's cold. You'll waste your first 20 years obsessing over opinions. What'll they think if I bomb this test, wear these ripped jeans, chase this crazy idea that keeps me up at night? The next 20, you'll swear you don't care. Middle fingers up, living loud, shouting, I'm free to anyone who'll listen. Then the last 20 hit, and you realize they weren't even watching. They're too busy scrolling X, stressing over their own messes, surviving their own storms. Let that sink in, let it settle deep. Stop auditioning for a crowd that's not in the seats. Your life's not a reality show and they're not the judges. Surround yourself with the wise instead. Elders have stories worth more than gold. Unpolished gems you won't find in podcast. My neighbor, 78, told me how he rebuilt his life after losing everything in a fire. House, photos, memories gone in a night. Sat me down with a beer and said, Kid, you don't know what you've got till it's ash. That's not in a TED Talk, it's in the wrinkles of someone who's lived, who's earned every line. Seek those voices, soak them up. And your friends? They'll cheer your wins, until you outshine them, until your light casts a shadow they can't handle. Keep your circle tight and your plans tighter. Most don't care, and some, secretly, pray you'll flop, twirling their mustaches like cartoon villains. I learned this the hard way, shared a big idea with a buddy, a passion project I'd nursed for months. He smirked. Good luck with that, dreamer. 6 months later, it worked. Took off like a rocket, and he was salty, texting me passive-aggressive jabs. Tell less, do more. Silence is your armor. Time's the real currency. Spend it like it's your last dime because it might be. An ounce of prevention beats a pound of pain, so don't sleep on the small stuff. Floss your teeth, call your sister, save $10, stretch your legs. The past? Learn from it. Don't live in it. I used to replay every fumble, every awkward date where I spilled my drink, every missed shot that clanged off the rim, until I realized it's just footage, not the feature film. Chase the wrong things, and the right ones slip away like smoke. Savor life's simple joys. Coffee on a quiet morning, steam curling up like a hug. A laugh with a friend that hurts your sides. The way the air smells after rain, clean and alive. Those are the gold nuggets we miss, too busy scrolling for the next dopamine hit, chasing likes instead of life. And when it's messy, leave the dishes, skip the yard, make the memory. Last summer, I ditched chores for a spontaneous road trip, windows down, music loud, my dog's ears flapping in the wind like a goofy flag. I don't remember the laundry pile, but I'll never forget that day. The gas station snacks, the sunset bleeding red, the freedom of no plan. You won't regret the fun, I promise. Sometimes letting go of good opens the door to great. I quit a decent gig once, not amazing, just fine. A paycheck and a parking spot. Felt safe, but safe's a cage if it's not yours. freed me to chase something wilder, something that scared me awake. Scary? Hell yes. Worth it? Every second, every heartbeat. Forgive your old self. You're not that person anymore, not the one who tripped over their own feet, trusted too fast, didn't know better. They got you here stumbling and all. Let them rest, give them grace. What others think. Not your circus, not your monkeys. Let them juggle their own chaos. People forget your words and deeds, the emails you sent, the favors you pulled, but never how you made them feel. That's your legacy, etched in their bones, not your bio. I yelled at a cashier once, stressed out of my mind, and saw her flinch, eyes dropping. Years later, I still feel that sting, a ghost that lingers. Make them feel seen, not small. Lift, don't crush. And when heartbreak cracks you open, lost love, shattered plans, a dream that dies, it's not just pain, it's fixing your vision for what's next. My last breakup gutted me, left me hollow for months, but it taught me what I won't settle for, what I deserve. Life's a brutal teacher. Every scar's a lesson, every bruise a map. Don't just endure it. Own it, wear it, wield it. Here's the kicker, the gut punch. You've got one shot at this wild, messy, beautiful ride. The days drag like a Monday in traffic, horns blaring, clock crawling. But the years fly like a jet on autopilot, streaking past before you can buckle up. So pilot your life like you mean it, hands on the controls. Stop chasing women or approval. Build yourself, brick by sweaty brick, value by value, and the right ones will find you, no games, no chase. I wasted years playing the if I'm enough, she'll stay game. Spoiler, she didn't, and I lost myself trying. But when I focused on me, my growth, my fire, someone real showed up. No script required. Risk nothing and you'll regret everything. I almost didn't start this channel, too scared to what if I suck. Sat on it for months, doodling ideas, talking myself out of it. Took the leap, hit record, and here we are. Proof that jumping beats standing still. The greatest danger, playing it safe, cocooned in comfort while life passes you by like a train you didn't board. So decide today. No more drifting, no more excuses, no more I'll get to it. You beat a billion odds to be here, sperm lottery, cosmic chaos, a fluke of fate. You're a walking, breathing miracle, a 1 in a trillion shot. Act like it. Be grateful for the cracked coffee mug that still holds your brew, the friend who texts back at 2 a.m., the breath in your lungs that says you're still in the game. Be bold, say the thing you've swallowed. Take the chance that knots your stomach. Chase the dream that won't let you sleep. And don't let anyone dim your fire, not the doubters with their smirks, not the haters with their shade, not the voice in your head whispering, you can't, like a broken record. Your future's waiting, arms wide, screaming your name. Go claim it, run to it, build it. If this hit you, smash that like button, drop a comment. Tell me what you're letting go of today. What's lighting you up? Subscribe if you're ready. To level up your life, to trade the safe for the wild. Let's keep this real. See you in the next one.